So just a note, is fact-based, unbiased drug education. We don't want to tell you what to do. We just want to give you good information about drugs and drug use and reduce harm associated with all drugs. So this one is especially timely because overdose can be present for any drug.
Okay, so since we're going to be talking about overdose, it's important to define it. An overdose is a toxic or lethal reaction caused by consuming too much of a substance. Overdoses can be intentional or unintentional. We're going to focus on unintentional overdoses, but a lot of the things we're going to be talking about can also be applied to people who are having intentional overdose. Okay, so what can cause an overdose? The first one that most people think of are drugs, and these include alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, and pretty much every legal or illegal drug. Yes, you can overdose on nicotine and caffeine. Usually they're not as lethal, but you can. Well, actually, nicotine overdose is extremely lethal, but caffeine tends not to be as lethal. It's important to note that it's almost impossible to overdose smoking cannabis, but you can overdose on cannabinoids such as synthetic cannabinoids and THC pills. You can also overdose on vitamins. Your body can recognize calcium and iron in too high doses and have extremely adverse reactions. It's also important to note that many individuals experience drugs differently, so sometimes having a bad drug experience does not mean that you're having an overdose, and you can have an overdose when you have a minute earlier you're having a positive experience. So the two are usually related but not completely synonymous. Okay.
So the signs of overdose include being unresponsive. So if someone's does not respond to a pinch or a firm shake on the shoulders, if they're vomiting uncontrollably, or if they're vomiting at all while they're unconscious, that is a medical emergency. They're experiencing a seizure. If their breathing is irregular, uneven, slow, shallow, or labored, or they're not breathing at all, obviously medical emergency. And signs that they're not getting enough oxygen, including blue lips, skin, or the nail beds. Regardless of what color your skin is, your nail beds are pink. And if they are not pink, if they're blue, then that is a sign of a medical emergency.
For the previous ones, you should always seek medical attention, but these are a little bit more of a gray area. If someone has extremely hot or cold skin, abnormal behavior, or abdominal pain, extreme abdominal pain, you should probably seek medical attention, but these are not always life-threatening signs, but if you see these in conjunction with one or more of the other ones, definitely seek medical attention. So the first thing to do if someone is having an overdose is not to panic. It's extremely difficult, but try to relax. You want to check their breathing and pulse. Through being close to their face, you can check their breathing, see chest movement, also pulse you can check at wrists or on the side of their neck. You want to put the person in the rescue or recovery position, seen in this picture here, and we're going to show a video in a second of how to do that, and then you want to call 911. Possibly all of these things at once. Okay, that was the rescue or recovery position. The idea is that the person is on their side, propped up on one leg and one arm, so that they will not roll either forward or back. That is typically used in cases of vomiting if the person is unconscious, but it can be used in general to prevent any harm. When you call 911, you have two options. Not everyone knows this. You can call 911 and stay, or you can call 911 and leave. We'll get to leaving in a second. We're going to start with staying, which is the better option. You want to have someone clean up, if that means putting things that are illegal away, if that means sending people home, whatever that means, you want to clean up while you're speaking to the operator, and give the operator every piece of information you know. Don't hold anything back because everything can be useful. You want to continue to monitor the person and follow the operator's instructions until the EMTs arrive. If you call 911 and leave, which is the far less favorable option, we're going to walk you through that. The reason that we are proposing this as an option is because in Virginia we do not have a medical amnesty or Good Samaritan law that protects people from prosecution. So even though this is the less favorable option, we're presenting it. So it's very similar to staying. You want to have someone clean up while you talk to the operator, and you want to give the operator all the information, but you want to add where in the house, apartment, location the person is, and you need to leave the location unlocked. And something that someone brought up at our session that we hadn't thought of was that you should make sure that all pets are out of the way of the EMTs, because if you have a dog that's barking, that can hinder the EMTs, or the cat's in the way, all these kind of things.
So what we don't want you to do is in any way jeopardize your own safety. If someone is having an emergency, the wait and see option really isn't there. They need medical attention. Don't restrain the person, especially if they're seizing. Don't force the person to consume anything, food, water, or other substances. Don't put them in the bathtub or shower. It can be really hard to deal with someone who's not only overdosing but also slick and wet and around lots of hard surfaces and sharp corners. And we have here, don't force the person to show up, but that means we actually want you to not force the person to throw up. They've already shown up, obviously, but don't make them throw up.
Okay, so here are some ways you can avoid overdose. First of all, you can avoid consuming substances. That is always an option. But if you choose to use substances that can lead to overdose, avoid mixing substances because things can have more adverse effects when combined. You want to follow all directions for your prescriptions and follow what the doctor tells you to do when you're taking those prescriptions. Eating food and water can be very beneficial. At the same time, don't drink too much water because there have been cases where people have taken MDMA and drank way too much water and had electrolyte imbalance. So this leads to be mindful of use, be aware of your body, know what you're consuming, be aware of how quickly you're consuming it, and know yourself, know what effects you are trying to achieve.
Oops, sorry, backing up.
Okay. This is about the medical amnesty policy that I referenced earlier. It protects people from being criminally prosecuted. In this instance, it's usually related to possession of illegal substances, including illegal drugs and underage possession of alcohol. There are many states that protect people that call 911 because they tend to save people's lives. Virginia does not have one of these policies, and unfortunately, as a result, if you call 911 and the cops arrive, there can be legal ramifications. This is not to say that you should not call 911. I think that most people would agree that that saving someone's life is more important than having criminal issues. But if you're interested in enacting a policy here in Virginia, you can contact Virginians for Medical Amnesty. They are attempting to create both a statewide, and some students in this organization are trying to create a VCU policy of this sort.
So we would love to recruit anyone to at VCU to become a member of Just Say No. And we'd also love to get you interested in working on medical amnesty. So contact us if you would like more information about Just Say No. And thank you so much for watching our video.
Thank you.
Bye.